The Liberals are changing our election date to ensure they get another payday on their way out the door. But that's not even the worst thing in Bill C-65. The Liberals are making it easier to meddle in Canadian elections while claiming their new law does the exact opposite. Today I'll show you how bad the so-called Electoral Participation Act really is, and then I'm going to ask for your help to fight back.
We're seeing growing distrust of government and media and increased polarization exacerbated by misinformation and disinformation. We're dealing with insecurity caused by armed conflicts and climate change. So today, I'm announcing that Canada is investing $8.4 million on research across the global south to better understand how climate change interacts with democratic decline.
Friends, I'm going to parse my language here in some of this video because I want this video to remain on as many platforms as possible so that as many Canadians as possible can see what the Liberals are about to do to Canadian democracy. The Liberals are trying to fix it in their favor in a couple of different ways, financially and electorally. You can help us fight back by going to protectourdemocracy.ca and signing the petition. Now, I'm parsing my words because some social media platforms don't want me or you to talk about powerful progressives cheating in elections, so I'm not going to say that. But I do want to tell you what the Liberals are doing in their last desperate gasps of their dying government. The Liberals are making sure the losers, them, in the electoral blowout they are so rightly deserving of, will get a huge payday. And the Liberals are changing some ways Canadians can vote, making those ways less resilient to voter fraud. The changes are called Bill C-65, and the Liberals will push it through quickly as they do with everything. The entire bill is a tacit admission that the Liberals know they will suffer a devastating loss in the 2025 election, as all polls indicate. So let's start with the most obvious scheming change the Liberals are putting into place. The Liberals are moving the fixed election date by just a week, from October 20th to October 27th. No big deal, you say. Well, the Liberals say they're doing this for diversity reasons, so Canadians celebrating Diwali can vote after the holiday. Now, Diwali celebrators can obviously just vote early, but here's the real reason. If Trudeau moves the in-person voting date by just a few days, 80 MPs, many of whom are Liberals sure to lose their seats in the next election, will qualify for their MP pension. That's why the Liberals are moving the election date. MPs are eligible for a pension after 6 years of service. MPs first elected in the 2019 election are not eligible for their pension until October 21st. 2025. So the Liberals are changing our election in ways nobody asked for to make sure their friends get their starter pension of $32,000 to $45,000 per year. Oh, but the Liberal conniving isn't quite done yet. This new law will expand mail-in voting, including allowing voters who registered for but did not use their special ballot to vote in person on election day with safeguards to prevent double voting. So, to be clear, you can register to vote by mail, but then switcheroo, vote in person. The Liberals claim there will be safeguards to ensure that nobody double dips, but they don't say what those safeguards are. The Liberals are also doing their best to appeal to other Liberal voters who have not yet been mugged by the Liberals' economic reality, making the 2015 pilot Vote on Campus program permanent. It's basically Liberal NDP vote harvesting. The Liberals are also going to ensure that geriatric dementia patients vote Liberal by having on-site voting for electors in long-term care, including allowing staff to identify the best day and time for residents to vote. Maybe some Chinese operatives could go down to the senior center and intimidate grandparents into voting for their chosen candidate. Heck, they'll even find somebody to vote for you, claiming they're doing it to combat ableism, by giving voters who require assistance, such as those with disabilities rendering them unable to mark their ballot, the choice of who may help them when voting. Again, this makes it a lot easier for vulnerable people to be strong-armed by foreign meddlers. The Liberals will also ban intentionally false or misleading statements about election activities or the voting process to disrupt an election or its results, which might include this video explaining what the Liberals plan to do to the electoral process. Those so-called false statements could result in a criminal conviction with a maximum fine of $50,000 and up to 5 years in prison. Democratic Institutions Minister Dominic LeBlanc said this legislation will protect democracy.
I was pleased to introduce in the House of Commons a set of amendments to the Canada Elections Act, which will enhance Canadians' ability to exercise their right to vote while strengthening protections against foreign interference in our elections.
I think it does the opposite. I think it makes Canadian democracy more vulnerable than ever, while the Liberals have this little side hustle of enriching 80 MPs on the way out the door. Nobody wants these changes, except Liberal politicians and their enablers in the NDP. And of course, foreign operatives looking to make sure their guy wins. Help us send a message to the Trudeau Liberals and their codependent coalition partner in the NDP. Leave our democracy alone. Sign the petition, keep our elections fair, keep the fixed election date. Go to protectourdemocracy.ca. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. The Liberal NDP coalition is planning a major overhaul of how Canadians vote in the next election. It enriches loser MPs while making our elections more vulnerable to foreign interference. To sign the petition, please go to protectourdemocracy.ca.